Hey, very often people ask me what I think about Agile, and I think it's time to record the video about that. Software development is a very young discipline, it's a very young industry, and it's a very complex industry. We programmers are very chaotic people and very creative people. The software business was trying to invent some mechanisms, some instruments, some formulas to control us creative people, programmers. And they were creating and inventing things like rational unified process, for example, or Microsoft Solutions Framework. Some rules and concepts which discipline programmers and make them do things the way things have to be done. It's not about how they should write code or how they should use design patterns, but how they should discipline themselves and what to do first and what to do next, how to communicate with customers, how to document requirements, how to deal with testers, how to document bugs, things which go above the code writing. And they had problems with that because, like I said, programmers are very creative and we're not disciplined people by definition, and the complexity of technologies which we're using was growing and growing. And at some point of time, a group of programmers, pay attention, programmers, got together and said, you know what, now it's time to stop that, stop controlling us, and just leave us alone and let us do whatever we want. That's how they started Agile. Agile was an officially documented excuse for all programmers in the world why they're not disciplined and why they don't do what the business wants them to do. Before, programmers were obliged to follow some procedure, they were obliged to follow some routine, to document requirements, to communicate with their customers in some formal way. But when they start doing Agile, they don't need to do anything of that. They're just completely free. When the business wants to control them and to make sure that the software team moves forward by the plans and by the requirements created by the business, they cannot do that because the team is doing Agile. We have no requirements documentation. That's because we have Agile. We have no plans. We have no budget. We have no schedule. We have no cost forecast. That's because we're doing Agile. We spend hours doing meetings and we don't know what those meetings are for and we don't document them. We don't have any protocols of those meetings. That's because we're doing Agile, and so on and so on. You can go through the principles of Agile. They have 12 principles. They are all just great slogans. They're just claiming some great values which in reality mean only one thing: complete freedom from the management. The management is not in charge anymore. We are in charge. We programmers know what to do. Leave us alone. And if you come to us asking for some certainty, we're not going to give it to you because we are Agile. So it's a great excuse. It's a great thing for developers. It was created by developers. Look at the team of people who invented Agile. All of them are programmers. Not a single business person in that team, not a single person with money, not a single project sponsor. The person who actually spend their money and actually lose the money in all the failed projects. That's who created Agile Manifesto. Programmers. Programmers invented something to control programmers. What do you expect it to contain? Some certainty, some strict rules, some punishment mechanisms? Not at all. Not a single word about punishment in the Agile Manifesto. It's all about rewards to programmers. And I'm not against the slogans they have in the Agile Manifesto. It's a great document, but it has no meaning. It has no certainty in it. It's just great claims of obvious things. Like our highest priority is the customer. Who said it was not the highest priority before in rational unified process, for example? Or welcome changing requirements. Who said changing requirements were not welcome in the waterfall process, for example? They were welcome before. But to accept them and to go through the full change management protocol, it took some effort, it took some discipline, it took some time. It was difficult before. Now it's easy, it's Agile. We just welcome requirements and we don't care about how fast they change. Just keep paying us. So blindly following this Agile formula and allowing programmers to say that we are doing Agile and because of that we have this and this, it's a recipe for disaster for the project sponsor. If you are a programmer, that's a great formula for you. Claim that you have Agile and nobody will be able to blame you for delays, for lack of requirements documentation, for lack of testing, for anything. You will be perfectly protected against any blames of the management. But if you are the management, if you're the project sponsor, then Agile is something which will ruin your project. That's what I think about Agile. Thanks for listening. Stay tuned. Bye-bye.